Hey guys, so this is going to be the first episode ever of All Star TV, brought to you by All Star Nutrition. What we got here today is we're just going to kick it off with probably, more simpler topics for sure. As we get into the weeks ahead, we will definitely get into more complex and definitely trickier things to be a part of. But first off, we'll just start by introducing ourselves and our background in the company. So I got Brady here with me, but I'm Jordan. I'm the manager at the St. Cloud location. I've been with the company for just over 3 years now. And my background kind of all in this is I've been in supplements kind of since high school. I was a college athlete all the way through, played football at St. Cloud State, and then trained a little bit, did a little bit of personal training at a St. Cloud local gym. So that's pretty much me. So what about you, Brady?
Yeah, so my name is Brady. As you know now, I manage the Mankato location, All Star Nutrition Mankato. I'll also be dropping our @ so you can give us a follow on Instagram, our store pages, as well as our personals. But I went to Rocky Mountain College in Montana, played college football out there. I've been with the company a little over 4 years now. I also have a degree in exercise science. But yeah, guys, we're pretty excited about this. This is something new that we're trying out. We want this to be interactive. So please feel free to drop comments, ask questions. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. But this is our way of kind of getting some information to you, and Jordan's kind of going to elaborate on that.
Yeah, guys. So our number one goal, first and foremost, is to just provide, the best customer service on the planet. And we, try and hold true to that as much as we possibly can. Helping people reach their goals and just helping, you gain a ton of knowledge, educating you, what works, what doesn't work, what's going to help you the best with your routine, what you got going on. So that's, of course, kind of what we're trying to help do with this All-Star TV segment is bring that to you and hopefully even get you, to potentially come into the store, picking up interest from you. We're going to kind of outline the topics of what we're going to cover today. So it's going to be really kind of, in our minds, a little simpler, but there's definitely a lot of misconceptions out there about just the basics of nutrition and what you should be doing, fad diets, all that kind of stuff. So what is a healthy diet? What does that look like? And then, of course, how do you apply that then to your goals and what you're trying to do and what your routine looks like? So that's what today is going to be about, the gist of that. And yeah, so now let's kick it off. So Brady, you got anything else before we start?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, we're just kind of highlighting on what we're doing in general. We're going to be having on guests in the future as well that are going to be experts in the industry. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff, and we're also open to all the topics that you guys have. So if you have any topics that you want us to cover, we will be happy to add that in. This is for you guys. This is us facilitating some more information to you, and an easier way to do it just with the COVID-19 going on, as well as, this is going to be fun and we want to interact with you guys some more. So that's kind of where we're standing on this, but let's do this.
Yeah. First episode, let's kick it off. So what is a healthy diet and what is our take on what that looks like and kind of what we preach from the store perspective and what we do in there, what we take you through for process. First and foremost, just a little disclaimer here. So what we're not trying to say with all of this is, eat what you hate, kind of feel miserable about your diet and not really enjoy what you're eating. Chicken and rice, kind of bland stuff each and every day. It's not realistic, and it's not sustainable in my mind. So, I just had, full large pizza from, Pizza Depot last weekend. So I'll be the first one to tell you it's not perfect 100% of the time. So Brady, I don't know if you got anything there.
Yeah, I mean, when people think about healthy diets and just think of the word diet in general, you think about cutting out all of the things that you love in your diet and in your eating habits in general. And that's not how it has to be. I mean, this is all about balance. This is all about sustainability. There's no point in doing a diet that, hey, you might see some results in the first 2 weeks, but if you can't stay with it long term, there's truly no point to doing it. You're just going to set yourself up for failure. So we need to do something that is going to be sustainable. And I like my cheat meals just as much as the next person. Jordan knows I can crush some pizza. So yeah, it's all about balance though, for sure.
Yeah. So, kind of getting into it, there's typically about 6 pillars or concepts to what a balanced, healthy regimen looks like. And that's, including the 3 macros: carbs, proteins, fats, and then your vitamins and minerals and water. So those are kind of, the foundational things to a healthy diet, and just the kind of impact that can have on your lifestyle, your routine, whether it's work, home life, working out, your fitness, lifestyle, and just whatever your goals are in mind too, whether you're trying to lose weight, put on muscle, that type of thing. All those things play a part in that and are equally, just as important. And then when it comes down to, just like the carbs, proteins, fats, that type of thing, there's definitely no right or wrong rhythm to doing those and like what the percentages are of your calories. But more or less, there is a lot of misconception about what protein does for you, how much you should be having of that. Carbs being kind of, pegged as a bad thing out there for you, and fats turning into fat. But Brady, what do you got on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in today's day and age, the media does a very, very bad job. I mean, they do a good job at demonizing certain macronutrients. And I mean, we've all seen it. We've all seen like, oh, don't eat carbs. That's how you get fat. Don't eat fat. That's how you get fat. Don't eat too much protein, this, and that. So, I mean, truly, when I'm looking at a balanced diet, it includes all 3 of the macronutrients. Like, you don't have to cut out a significant amount of one macronutrient. At that point, I mean, once again, it goes back to sustainability. Eating a well-balanced diet, in my eyes, contains protein, carbs, and fats in healthy amounts, respective amounts, for sure.
Right, of course. And then if you're doing something like keto, that's a different story. Those obviously diet types, you don't want to have those certain amounts of foods, but of course it all comes down to what your goal is. And then of course whole foods too, like just trying to reduce as much processed foods as possible, processed ingredients. The more straight from the earth you can get it, the better it's going to be on your system. Bloating, inflammation, all that type of stuff. And then of course water intake, making sure that you're getting not a sustainable amount. Like I think it's half your body weight in ounces per day of water should be your goal, but drinking it regularly. As soon as you wake up in the morning, getting a glass down. Before you go to bed at night, getting a glass down, so that way your body's constantly in a recycling mode, cleaning you out, keeping you kind of cleansed.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and just in general, there is so much processed food out there, and I mean, truly, with the issues that's going on with American obesity, has a lot to do with the amount of processed food, the amount of processed sugar, and lack of exercise. And I would say the 2 main ones are the processed sugar and the processed food. So, I mean, even if you want to start slow and you just want to work into doing something that's maybe a little bit more healthy diet, those would be my 2 first recommendations. Cut out processed food. And so what is processed food? Processed food is, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory when you break it down. It's food that has to be processed to where it is, typically has super long shelf life, things that you find in the middle of a grocery store, that are boxed or are packaged heavily. But if we're looking at non-processed foods, fruits, veggies, lean meats, anything like that are going to be much less processed, and you're going to have much less issues there. Kind of moving more into the sugar side of things, processed sugar are in everything. I mean, Jordan, how many Gatorades and Powerades did you used to drink back in the day because you thought they were healthy?
Like 2 a day.
Yeah, exactly my point. And so those in general are just filled with processed sugar, and most of the time you don't need that. And I would say the majority of the time you don't need that at all. Processed sugar, we could do a whole episode based around that. But processed sugar in general is going to cause inflammation in the body, going to cause issues with your insulin sensitivity. So you have to be careful with those things. And then kind of moving on to the water. Yeah, I mean, drinking water has so many different benefits that people don't think about typically when just kind of going about a diet. Diet also includes your water intake. And yeah, like Jordan said, I mean, it does a lot of different things for you. The protein synthesis, that's one thing that we could also hit on, helping you utilize protein better, flushing out toxins, all that kind of stuff. Do you have anything else to add to the processed food, water, anything like that?
No, that's good. Good there.
Okay.
So going into, did you have anything else?
Oh yeah, I have a question of the day. We're going to have a question of the day. We're going to have a random question of the day that Jordan is not prompt about beforehand so we can get a true answer. So this question of the day is going to be about water. So question, which bear is best? Just kidding. Okay, question. If you had to drink water one way for the rest of your life, how would you do it? Here's your three options. A, you have to beer bong it. B, you have to shotgun it, but the water is carbonated. 3, you have to drink like lukewarm water, like uncomfortably warm water.
Well,
what is your pick and why?
I hate lukewarm water, so for cold. So I think I definitely wouldn't want to beer bong it all the time, but I would say shotgun carbonated just because I actually enjoy carbonated drinks. So that one seems to work best for me.
That is an awful answer, but that's okay.
What would you pick?
I would definitely, I'm telling you, the one I wouldn't pick is the shotgun, the carbonated water. The carbonation would get me every time. I would definitely drink warm water. I think it'd be easy to drink, whatever.
All right. Now you know a little bit more about us. And then moving on, health essentials, of course. Man, I can't tell you how many people come into the store, no matter the age, and they aren't really even taking any sort of daily multivitamin supplement, which, even if you have a pretty extensive diet, it's really hard to get in all of those nutrients that your body needs. So that's definitely an important aspect of it too, is getting in your health essentials, multivitamins, all your fruits and vegetables. Those have so much nutritional value that it's hard to pass on those. On top of just the benefits, you store less body fat, your metabolism's faster, lots of things, the list goes on. And that's just as important as, anything else, working out, whatever it may be, for your goal, no matter what you're trying to do. So you got anything tying to that?
Yeah, I mean, and it's always easy to find an excuse on why you're not eating fruits and veggies. And even if you are eating fruits and veggies, like Jordan said, you can eat a well-balanced meal and still not get enough of those key vitamins and nutrients. And so with that being said, if you're bulking, you can say, well, I'm eating a ton of food, I don't have room for the veggies, or vice versa. You're cutting and you only have so many calories. You don't want to include a ton of veggies, even though you should be. And so there's definitely different ways you can go about that. I mean, one of the things that we recommend to almost everybody is a solid multivitamin, typically powdered form, just because it's difficult to get those things in your diet. And so as we transition into how we apply this to our goals, what should, the question that we get all the time is, how do I apply this to what I am trying to do? How do I apply this to my goal? And so Jordan, how would you kind of take that like step by step?
Right. And so first it's just figuring out like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to put on some size, some muscle? Are you trying to just overall perform better at your sport, at your lifts? That definitely is going to make a huge difference because, if you're trying to lose weight, you want to be, in a slight deficit, but not a huge crash diet. Most of the people that come into the store, that are trying to lose weight are just in an extreme crash diet, which plays a huge part, in just your energy levels and everything. So, first and foremost, just figuring out what exactly it is you want to get better at, what you want to improve at, and then kind of figuring out things from there, because that's going to play the hugest role. So, if you're in a weight loss type of goal, you definitely want to be in a caloric deficit. So just kind of limiting carbs, slowly and reducing them by, 100, 200, 300 at a time until you get to a comfortable spot. And then if you're trying to put on size, being in a surplus of calories, which is really hard to do, eating enough food, especially if you're working out 5 to 6, 7 days a week. That only increases your caloric output a lot more. So taking in enough gradually over time, gaining weight. And then if you're trying to just be functionally fit, functional maintenance type of goal, then just thinking about how your body responds to the foods that you are eating before, after your workouts. Keeping that in mind and just trying to make better choices there too. And listening to your body and how it responds to certain things. But more so in general, just listening to your body during lifts too, regularly.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. Let's kind of go backwards a little bit and hit on the weight loss thing. Because, I mean, you probably get this is the biggest goal that we get people coming in for. I'm sure it's the same at your store. It's pretty equivalent across the board. But the biggest issues that I see when people come in, first of all, it's hard if people aren't tracking their diets regularly or tracking their foods that they're taking in regularly, it's very difficult to decipher how many calories they've been taking in, if they've been taking in too much or if they've been taking in too little. I would honestly say more often than not, people aren't eating enough calories. And it's honestly counterintuitive. People see all these magazines and all these models and they're like, hey, I want to lose weight. I'm just going to stop eating. And that's probably the worst thing that you could possibly do. Main point being is when you're in a calorie deficit for too long, our bodies are so efficient that your metabolism is going to downregulate. If your body doesn't have to burn as many calories, burn so many calories, it's not going to. It's going to keep lowering. So before you know it, you can't lower your calories any lower because you're only taking in 1,000 calories a day. So at that point, it makes it very difficult on where we go from there. And so that's kind of one of the big things I would say to hit on the weight loss is getting in enough food. We got to hit that sweet spot because we don't want to be too big. Because what do you see happen all the time when people have too big of a calorie deficit?
They just kind of go backwards. They're going to preserve body fat, not see the results that they're looking for. They might lose a little bit of weight, but typically it's going to be like water weight or muscle more so than anything.
And the unfortunate part about that is it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
That is like, if you've been, working out hard and you're taking in 1,000 calories a day, which is nothing, and you haven't been seeing results, that is the most frustrating thing ever. So that is something that we truly, really try to focus on in the store is getting that diet on point, because we don't want to be at the point where you're only taking 1,000 calories a day. We want to see that sustained weight loss. We want something sustainable. And that's the key point here. All of this stuff means nothing unless it's sustainable and you're able to do it in the long term.
Yeah. Long term is the key end game. Yeah. So, just for an example, I think, the guy who won the New Year challenge, he won the muscle mass category, but also took second in the body fat category. So he kind of, left a quote on there for the post, but, he needed to realize that in order to lose the weight, as much as he was working out 7 days a week, I had him increasing his caloric intake by 800 to 1,000 calories. And he was kind of, taking a step back at first, but once he started doing that and getting his calories in, the weight just started kind of falling off, with minimal effort. As much as he was putting in, it just kind of started going in his favor, and he was blown away, but then he was more, motivated to stick to it and get it done, and ended up losing 6% body fat in 8 weeks, which was incredible. So.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Those challenges are a great representation of how these things work. We had some unreal results at our store too. 8% body fat dropped in that time frame. It's nuts. And the same thing goes for weight gaining. Now, when we're specifically looking at weight gain, I see one of the questions in the comments from Hunter is how much weight should we be gaining weekly? And the same thing for weight loss is for weight gain. So about 1 pound to 2 pounds a week is sustainable weight gain and weight loss. And so the thing is, you want to be in a caloric surplus when you're putting on muscle, but you don't want to be in too big of a caloric surplus, because that's when you start putting on body fat. And you're going to end up being in the same spot that you were before. So if you gain weight too fast, you take in too many calories too quick, yes, you'll gain weight. Yes, you'll put on size, but you're also going to probably put on a decent amount of body fat.
Yeah, I agree. It should be over time. You definitely, it's going to be a lot of force feeding. It's going to feel like you're full all the time, but that's honestly what it takes. And I always try and recommend people trying to limit their workouts, or at least their length of their workouts, because some guys will go at it, 2-3 hours at a time, 5 days a week. And that just makes it really hard to achieve the calories that you need to see that size increase. So kind of taking a step back, giving your body time to recover is as important too when it comes to trying to grow and put on size in the long run. So definitely, toning it back a little bit, and maybe just doing like an active rest day 2 days a week or something like that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's also discouraging, just like you can't lose weight fast enough when you can't gain weight, or if you're just gaining a ton of body fat. So, I mean, all of these things take time. And unfortunately, you're not going to get to the place you want to be in a couple weeks. Most of the time, it just takes time. It took so many years to get you where you are at this point. It's not going to take 2 weeks to get you where you ideally want to be. So we just have to have that in time. I mean, and that kind of comes down to goal setting, which we do work a lot with in the store, and we try to incorporate that and help people out with that, because that is a huge part. And we could probably do a whole episode on goal setting alone, because without goal setting, you're kind of aimlessly just going
Right.
until whenever. And so that's something that will definitely be hit in the future for sure too. But yeah, Jordan, do you have any tips for the viewers who are like, don't understand, I guess, what listening to their body is, or like what that would look like or what that would feel like?
Yeah. So I guess with that, what I mean by that is, are you gassing out early than usual on your workouts? Like if you're hitting a plateau, you're not putting on weight on your main lifts. Are you going up in weight? Are you increasing your PRs? When you recover, 2-3 days after a workout, are you starting to feel better, or you still sore like 5-6 days after a workout? That's definitely a red flag, and just taking care of your body and stuff like that. You definitely want to be in tune with what's happening there, because that could lead to, a number of things. Of course, it's going to be a setback, but just making sure you're paying attention to those little things during your lifts, after your lifts, and making sure you're paying attention to those, because that's important too, just as anything else really. So
for sure, and I don't think people truly understand that just listening to your body, how it feels, how your sleep is, all of these different things, how that truly affects your overall and your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that's a huge part that people, need to sometimes take a step back on, because, training 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week for 3 hours at a time isn't necessarily going to give you the best results. Yeah, you're burning calories, but that's doing a lot of other things that are involved there, and to your hormones, to a lot of different things, and just your driving towards your success in general. So for sure.
Right. All right, and then so I mean, that's kind of it for today, guys. Just summarizing what we went over, those nutrition basics. You ever feel like you got a question from one of these, question about what your goal is, what you're trying to do, feel free to reach out to us via our personal or store pages. Be more than happy to help. We do free consults all the time. We do have this really cool challenge coming up this weekend, or starting next Monday, but signups are through this Friday. Brady, can you break down a little bit about what that's about?
Yeah, so this challenge is pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, we can't do the in-store challenges. We wouldn't get a lot of people participating. The whole thing here is people are out of their routines. And the whole goal of this challenge is to get people back into their routines. And so essentially, this is a challenge anybody can join from any point in the country. It doesn't matter where you are, you can join. And so essentially what this is, it's 3 weeks long, and it requires you to work out 5 days a week for 20 minutes is the minimum time. 2 of these workouts have to be outside, and then all you have to do is log it in a fitness app, screenshot it, send it to us. It's that easy, just like that. You do that for 3 weeks in a row, just 5 days a week, 3 weeks in a row, and you automatically win. That means everybody can win. So you'll get a $25 gift card, a t-shirt, and a shaker. So we'll hook you up with that. But I think the coolest part about this whole thing is, for every 5 people that finish this challenge, we will be donating 28 days worth of protein to local first responders. So with that being said, the more people we get entered, the more that we give back. And I know there's some other stuff that we're doing too, right, with gift cards?
Yeah, definitely. So we're getting local restaurants and businesses involved too in that respect, trying to support the community as much as we can. So we're going to be hooking a raffle winner or a few raffle winners up that complete the challenge. They'll get entered into the raffle, but we'll plug them with some local restaurant business gift cards that they can use in support of those places too that are kind of, taking a hit as well during all of this. And then Next week's show, guys, it's going to be about thriving during the quarantine. So kind of just going through routine, how to stay busy, how to stay active, how to stay in the right mindset. We're going to have a special guest appearance with that. So who's going to be, Brady?
It is going to be my man, the myth, the legend, Zach Erickson. He's the sponsored athlete, one of the sponsored athletes down at the All-Star Nutrition in Mankato. Great guy, very, very knowledgeable. So we're going to have him on to talk about some points. I'm excited to have him on. He has a ton of knowledge, and he's going to be able to shed some light on kind of everything that's going on right now too. And so with that being said too, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in now, and we'll give it a minute or so. If we don't get any questions, we'll get ready to sign off, right?
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to be doing this weekly now. If you got any friends, family members that might enjoy some of the topics that we cover here, might benefit them, feel free to share it with them as we go along. Follow our pages, All-Star Nutrition St. Cloud and All-Star Nutrition Mankato.
Yes. I'm not able to mention in the comments, but I'll throw it in the comments after this stream is over. But I'll throw the ads for the Instagram, for both of our Instagrams, and then also our personal Instagram. So if you want to reach out and ask us a question, you're more than welcome to do so. I don't think we're having any questions. So we just want to grow this. We want to keep growing this. We want to keep giving information. We're going to keep having very cool people on that are very smart about this stuff. So if you guys could spread the word for us, share this, tag friends, tag family members in the future. We're going to be doing this weekly. So Wednesdays is kind of the day that we're going to do it. Time may vary, but we get some more comments in there.
Dan asked, is it true you can see into the future with those glasses?
Well, actually, that is true. My future is so bright that these are like Blu-ray glasses or blue light glasses. So I can't be hurt by those harmful rays. Is that right, Dan? Awesome. Oh, thanks, Una. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think that's all I got. Anything else for you?
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back 6 o'clock next Wednesday, same time, different topic.